Hey guys, welcome back. I am once again trying to just stop my meditation music. Okay. Sorry about that. The hell's up with my throat? Okay. I believe we are doing Gemini. Your next gift, holiday blessing, whatever you want to call it. All right, guys. Let's get started. Geminis. Yeah. I have much to say. So yeah. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Hopefully everything is great. If you guys could like, share, and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Okay. Alright, Geminis. Okay. Let's see. You guys might just feel really tired. Really tired. I know that this is a collective thing for a lot of people. Not everybody, but there's a sense of sleeping like you're hibernating during this winter. So this could be you guys, but honestly, this could also be just my energy. But okay. Your next blessing, holiday blessing, your sweet little gift for this holiday. If you're watching this and there's not a holiday coming in, just your next blessing, right? All right. Cracked open. Rock bottom. Surrender to the alchemy of life. This is really interesting. You're being you're very, very protected right now. You are in a very protected circle by your guides, your ancestors. It's almost like you're removing. Okay, you know what I'm getting. I'm getting like, like in a bunch of different shows and movies, you can see this, where there's an alien pretending to be a human, and then they get home from wherever they're pretending to be human from, and they're removing their fake human suit is what I'm seeing. So that's kind of what I'm getting, but I don't feel like this is something you do constantly. I feel like this is happening now. It feels like you've gotten to a point in your life where you've hit rock bottom and you're finally starting to take off the mask. You're finally starting to remove yourself from. It feels like you're finally hitting that point that you needed to hit in that point in your life that you needed to hit to start to give in to um, evolving, right? Um, Cause yeah, it's saying there's a need to you're surrendering. Sorry, hang on, guys. I'm getting a lot with you guys, and I keep hearing noises. I'm like paranoid right now, which is really weird because I've never been paranoid. I think I can't even tell you like paranoia. I'm getting really paranoid. Um, yeah, no, I just got like really anxious. Okay. Yeah, it feels like, oh, there's two right here. Look at that. Star ancestors. Yeah. Hidden secrets, lost wisdom. Look a little deeper. Yeah, they're saying to go down the rabbit hole. It feels like you've hit that point in your life where you can no longer ignore the facts. You can no longer ignore the hurt, the pains that you've been trying to, honestly, I think, smother and like um, drown out by a bunch of different things, right? Whatever it is that we use to cope. Um, Even just ignoring, to be honest with you. Um, and there's a sense that you're now starting to finally get to that point where you can't deal. It almost feels like you're to that point where you have nowhere else to turn. I'm seeing somebody like backed into a corner by all directions, and you have no choice but to go down that rabbit hole. That rabbit hole is going to open your eyes to, basically, you're going to awaken. So you guys could be going through a dark night of the soul, or you guys could be going down some, excuse me, I have the hiccups. Weird things happen when we channel. Where you're starting to look for information that doesn't make sense because whatever's happening to you is not making any sense right now, if that makes any sense. um yeah, it's time to look a little deeper. You're getting wisdom, you're getting lost wisdom, wisdom that was lost through your family lineage, wisdom that hasn't even been around on earth. You're starting to uncover things. You're going to just imagine somebody that just found, let's say, somebody who loves conspiracy, which has a cancer, gang. But you're going down a rabbit hole and you're starting to look for information and you're starting to go deep down and you're getting information that actually resonates, right? But it's because you were at a level in your soul and in your life that just it was putting you in a state of like, it literally feels like you just like ripped off, like just peeled a layer of false, yeah, I don't want to say the rest. You're not alone. Yeah, also right now you're very isolated. But this is happening as a community. I feel like as a community there's been a people start to heal in waves, right? And I feel like with certain things that's going on in politics, that was a new wave that just came in of people becoming aware and becoming awakened and becoming um starting to go down those rabbit holes where they're seeing like, you know what, this ain't making sense. Things that are happening here, what's going on in the world, something's going on here and it's not making sense, and it's allowing people to start waking up, right? And I feel like there's like a graduating class, there's a middle class, and then there's a freshman class, right? And I feel like you're a part of the new wave that's finally starting to allow yourself to have been so affected, so pushed, so when you feel like something is so wrong, and I'm thinking of that book by Eckhart Tolle where he said that his nervous system was so shocked, his body felt so wrong in such a sense that it almost like woke him up to a sense of freedom because his body, it was so in so much turmoil. And I don't believe this was uh like physical. Well, it was physical because when you're in that much stress, it is. But this wasn't like illness. This was like his nervous system, his mind, the overthinking, everything. It was such turmoil that his soul had nothing left to do but to awaken, right? It had nothing left to do, no room to move, but to awaken and understand that everything that he was feeling wasn't even his. And then he talks about how he went through a period of just calm, like he didn't care. He didn't have any of those feelings. He woke up and realized that all of that wasn't his. And he went through this state of peace. And that's kind of how it feels when you first awaken. Like, I remember the first time I fully was like, oh, where am I? It was after one of those, like, a week of full depression, crying, ugly crying in the bathroom, feeling like I was going crazy. I just saw 1010. And just there was so much physical and emotional pain. And then just one day I woke up and I was calm and I could see everything like it was real. It was like seeing life through the eyes of a newborn child. There was no pain. It doesn't mean that you wake up and everything's gone. It's almost like it gives you this amount of time to see what the world is really like. It's almost like you're waking up from the matrix and you're seeing things for what they really are, right? And then eventually you kind of do come back down because you have to learn certain lessons and you have to learn how to kind of hold that energy, which does take work and practice, right? Even Eckhart Tolle went back to like his normal. It wasn't normal. It never goes back to normal, but of understanding that, oh, okay, well, now we have to deal with our pain body and we have to deal with our false programmings and all of that, right? Our ego, the id, telling us, worry about this and worry about that, and if you're not, whatever, yeah, with you're not alone, physical connection. There's a lot of people that are going through this at the same time. Like I said, it almost comes in waves. So, but there's also people that you can turn to, right? When I was going through my ascensions, I never had anybody to talk to. I never had anybody to talk to. A lot of my healing oils, which you probably can't see because my lights are off. That line I made because I had nobody to talk to and I needed help. So when I was going through ascension symptoms, I made an oil for that. When I was going through the anger, I made an oil for that. When I was going through, realizing that I had given my power away, I made that one. It's called the Give Me Back My Mojo, right? When I felt like I was being attacked, I made my peanut butter jelly, which is, my evil eye, my self love, because there was so much, most of my life that I went through, judging myself and basically we're so awful to ourselves before we understand that it's not us, right? Inner temple, yeah, devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. Yeah, this is all turning you inward. This is absolutely beautiful. This is turning you inward, and it's turning you to turn into your heart. Um, there's a devotion to you, a devotion to divine, a devotion to a higher sense, right? And I don't believe in religion. If you do, that's great. That's absolutely fine. Uh, I don't believe in religion. I believe in spirituality. Spirituality, religion, it says if you don't listen and you don't obey, you're going to hell. Spirituality is you go through hell to have heaven on earth, right? I truly feel like earth is hell. This cannot be this cannot be um heaven, right? There's just no way. It's giving that one show with Ted Hansen. I can't remember his name. And it's like I can't remember the show. I know probably somebody's screaming it through the screen where they go to heaven, but like everything wrong happens, and then what's her name was like, "This is hell," and he was like, "How'd you figure it out?" Like that kind of thing. Like, yeah, no, this is not. Yeah. Anyway, those are just my thoughts. Everybody evolves. Everybody believes different things. Whatever. But there's a need, and then you have spontaneous awakening, activation, integration time. Yeah, with the blue flame, I do feel like there's a Kundalini rising coming up. I don't believe it's fully happened for most of you guys. I do believe that it's going to start happening soon. If not, you're on your way there. Um, there's a door. There's a split. There's a split in your psyche, and it's. I feel like for whoever I'm speaking to, you guys have already started awakening, and it feels like everything just seems wrong or different, and it's because your soul was screaming at such a level of anguish and pain that it ruptured and it made this. Um, oh man, these cards are jacked up. Oh, that's messed up. Did I burn these or why are these gross? Anyway, it's almost like you opened a portal, and your ancestors or somebody, a guide is coming here to meet you, to take you almost like into the out of the matrix, to show you, hey, look, this is what's really happening. You have control over these emotions. At least you can learn how to. And a lot of the things that you've been is because there's so much. If we go into this, I would be here forever. But remember, there's like things in videos and everything that you watch. There's frequencies that take you out of your norm, frequencies that like try to make you spend money because that's what, you know, the world revolves around. Again, I'm trying to like keep it not so in depth because if we do, I first of all, it's a lot for somebody, especially that's they're starting to wake up. You don't want to overwhelm yourself, because then you have a hard time kind of deciphering and putting things into files, right? Um, I remember I would become overstimulated, and then I would, yeah, no. Okay, let's go deeper. Yeah, tune into the portal of your heart. There's a need to go within. There's a lot of cards here saying go deep, go within. It's time to go within, right? Clarifying, cracked open. Yeah, you got the 10 of Wands. Releasing, finally releasing the burdens. I feel like you were carrying so much that you literally like collapsed and you were unable to function anymore. Your soul was literally screaming like, we can't do this anymore. It was too much. There was too much pressure, and honestly it felt like you were trying to hold on to the id, because that felt normal, that felt correct, that felt right to you. I do feel like I am speaking to a new wave of people that are starting to become interested in um, holistic healing or are starting to awaken. If you feel like you're going crazy, congratulations. That's absolutely normal. That's absolutely normal. It is gonna get worse before it gets better, but the good thing is that people can no longer puppeteer you when you don't stand for anything, when you don't know the truth, when you just sometimes I just hear people say, I just want the truth. And that in itself enough is in itself is enough to wake you up to what's actually happening, to really what's going on. Because a lot of the times, if you're not even emotionally aware of what's going on, what your thoughts are, what is being put into you, who you are, and all those programmings that you're being puppeteered by, your higher self is miserable, right? And then you're wondering, why do I always feel like doom and gloom? It's because you are asleep. You are sleepwalking. It's because you're sleepwalking. And it feels like everything's wrong because everything is wrong. And I feel like you guys are starting to become aware of that and starting to become aware of the things that are happening. Look, the hermit, what did I say? There's a ton to go within right now. The hermit needs to go in and they basically need to do a spiritual, they need to go within. Remember, when you pray, you're speaking to God. When you meditate, God is speaking to you. And there's a need for you to be spoken to, for you to be told the truth without, thinking that you're getting the truth from like books and all of that stuff. It's not to offend anybody, but the Bible, half of that shit is fake. And the other shit has been, there are some truths and there are some good stories that you can use to learn by, but a lot of that stuff, it has been corrupted, has been molded by kings that were hungry for power, exactly what in times that we've been living in for a really long time. And so basically you just get retaught the same thing over again, and your spirit is like, something's not right. It's because it's not right. Look at the world we live in. Something's not right here. With the Three of Pentacles in reverse, it feels like you couldn't, you felt like you weren't fitting in anymore. Like the things that you were doing, thinking, feeling, you're starting to feel like an outcast. You're starting to feel like you don't belong, and it's because you don't belong. Because the level of knowledge, the level of wanting to learn more, to understand what the heck is going on, you're starting to disconnect from people that are fully still in the matrix, right? And you don't have to believe it the way I'm saying it. You could just see it like you're elevating in your energy, and so you no longer connect with those people because they're still fully believing in the things that they're seeing and hearing. When you still believe and see everything that you're being told, um, and you really don't have like it's just not no. I again, I'm trying to keep it more vague rather than go deeper because I'm not trying to make this political, but there's a lot that honestly that has a lot to do with a lot of the things we're seeing in this world where um, a lot of the things that are going on in the forefront were things that were happening on the inside, but they were just really good at hiding it. Now it's just more visible, and I feel like we have the champions of like, if you know what I'm talking about. I'm not saying I'm for him. I'm just saying the champion of champions of like showing the world what truly is going on. Clarifying inner temple. Again, I'm not here for that, so don't trust me, don't come at me with that shit. I'm just trying to give you an example of what one of the biggest things that's happening in our world that's probably causing a lot of people to wake up. Yeah, with the Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Cups, excuse me, I don't know why I say Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Cups, I feel like you're giving yourself a lot of love. I feel like you're doing a lot of self-care. I feel like you guys are giving yourself that love and attention that you guys have been needing. There's a society, and I feel like it's my age and a little bit younger. Um, I'd say about a 20-year span, maybe like 40, maybe like a 40-year span of like, I want to say like 30 to like 60, so maybe 30-year span, where we came from traumatized parents, like really traumatized. And there's a need to self parent ourselves. There's a need to reparent ourselves, to give ourselves love, because a lot of us didn't receive that. And we're having to, and I just saw 222, and we're having to give that to ourselves. And until you can do that, you're not going to feel that, and you're not going to be able to give that to anybody else. There's a lot of, I'm seeing just so much in relationships where dating is just like almost not even like unreasonable. Like, I don't date. I don't date because I'm not that, and I'm not going to be polite about it. Like, I don't have time for you to have all of these insecurities, have all of this bullshit that's going on. I just don't. I don't have it in me to be kind. Um, so I'd rather just, allow things to happen the way they're going to happen. And if it comes, and it comes, and if it doesn't, it doesn't, right? Um, Even with that stuff, I don't feel like we're giving out clean love. I don't feel like we're giving out unconditional love. Everything is tit for tat. And I'm not seeing it just on one side, I'm seeing it on both sides. But because, on one side, they got tired of being treated like shit, so they became assholes too, right? Which is understandable. And so there's a need right now to like go within uh, and love yourself the way you would love cleanly. Reparent yourself and love yourself. Take care of yourself. Right now, there's a need to basically, love yourself as if you were your own partner, because there's a need for that right now in this world. And especially if you're going through an awakening, it's going to feel very difficult, and you're going to be very scared, and you might not have people around you that are going to understand. And so you need to be patient with yourself. You need to be kind to yourself. All those things that you have not been given, give to yourself at this time is what's needed. So I feel like right now the miracle that's happening is that you're going through a portal of awakening, and that's absolutely beautiful, because now you'll be able to discern when you're being puppeteered. You'll be able to have a voice when there's voices that are needed right now, right? And your soul is going to stop screaming for help, because you're finally realizing that you were stuck in a delusion and an illusion, and you're awakening from that. Okay, and I just saw 444 again with the Knight of Wands. Yeah, there's a little bit of fire and a little bit of magic coming up, wakening up. It's putting a fire under your butt, but it is going to take, look, you're going to fight a dragon. but you're in training right now. I'm getting this like almost like Harry Potter. And with the Knight of Wands, remember that's kind of like it's not like the Ace of Wands, right? This is like a Knight of Wands. It's almost like you're in training. If you have pets, pets would be really good for you right now. A black cat would be familiar for you. Um, but yeah, you're training right now how to fight your dragon, and I feel like the dragon is going to be different for everyone, right? All right, Geminis, let me get you guys some guidance cards. Some guidance cards? Some guidance? Don't mind me. I've been waiting for a coffee for 2 hours. This restaurant sucks. I'm giving my daughter 0 stars. It's literally cold brew too. All you have to do is put coffee and water and creamer. It's been like an hour and a half. Fired. She's like, good. I didn't even want to work here anyway. Dance. Find your heart's rhythm. Step lightly and swing with the melody. Close your eyes and let joy lead the way. What does it say on the new Stranger Things? Music has a way of finding you even in the darkest of times. I think music is going to be really good for you right now. Dancing, even if you can't dance, dance like nobody's watching. And music is going to be really good healing. You'll get a lot of messages too through music. I got a lot of messages at the beginning. And then friendship. Be with the ones who make you shine, who love you and really care. Keep those and let the others go. Right now, you're going to see everybody for who they are. Everybody that's a foe and everybody that loves you unconditionally for who you are, even when you're starting to change. I know I kept, like, I have acquaintances, I have people that I know, but friends that I was left with like 3 friends. And I had a phone full of contacts, and now I'm left with like literally 3, maybe 4 friends. After and one of them I made after I went through my awakening. So yeah, you'll start seeing who your friends are and who they're not. Okay. All right, Geminis, I love you guys so much. I hope this helps somehow, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.